Today I want to tell you about my greatest vice and the greatest vice of most programmers. You see this over this way. You see this over here? I built this and I'm really proud of it. And why use a tool that somebody else made when you can make your own tool? That's what I always say. And that's what most programmers would say. Now, I feel like I do want to very much clarify. I did not create the brand design. That was a Horse and Hound Studio. It did a fantastic job. And also I did not create my logo animation intro. That was Nick Aducci, who does fantastic work. Alec Wiesner ended up doing the audio for the intro. But the other stuff, like the tooling itself, I have not created all of the music or all the sound effects myself. Most of those have been pulled from online, Storyblocks, or well, most recently Storyblocks, and then also Pixabay, Pexels, freesound.org, freepd.com, just grabbing a bunch of different things. But I love making tools. I love making things that let me do exactly what I want. And one of the biggest kind of vices, you could say, creative vices of a lot of programmers, is that on the one hand, they could use something that somebody else made, and sometimes it solves the problem. But on the other hand, you could also make something yourself, which is very fun. And also, now, as I'm saying this, perhaps it sounds like, well, why would you ever make your own tool? That surely is just always the wrong decision. No, absolutely not. There are great reasons to roll your own tool. The biggest reason and the best reason is that the tools that are out there just don't do what you want. Another good reason is if you're trying to learn, if you're trying to grow yourself and develop yourself. I've learned a lot by making my own tools here. And the thing is that now I can do pretty much whatever I want because I've got all the tooling set up. And so there are tools that other people have made that would solve their problems, but other people's general use tools are probably not going to solve your specific problem as well as your specific use tool is going to solve your specific problem. I think that where people can probably more likely go astray is that when they have a specific problem and they start trying to make a solution to solve their problem and everyone else's, when it's very likely that nobody else needs your tool, which is maybe a very harsh thing to say, but I mean that sincerely, or I don't know, I hope that that's helpful. Like I have actually shared some of my code here with some other programmers who have been working on tooling and to help them get going and to get some stuff off the ground. But like I realized that I might be the only one who uses this, but my goal is to make my stream as awesome as possible, to give as much flexibility and as many options as I can for viewers, because it's just it's fun. But this is something that really dates back to even my very early days when I was working on Wild Wars, where I didn't want to use sprites that other people made. I didn't want to use assets that other people made. For a while, I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder about everything should only be stuff that I made. Now, I didn't make the music. I never, for whatever reason, music was never something that I ever felt like I had to make, except for with the Smile Squad, actually. So actually, I did step back into that a little bit, although I also collaborated with a friend who was making some of the music. So I wasn't 100% on that. But anyway, the big thing that I found that really helps break the mindset of I have to do everything, or helps you to do things that maybe you'd rather just use somebody else's package, maybe you're on the other side of that, is just really asking the question, what are my goals, and focusing on that. Because if your goals are, like for example, one of my goals was I wanted to have a lot of different video options of things that could happen. You know, classy stuff like this. And everybody's gonna hate that. I love it. Anyway. That's probably something that nobody expected to see in a video like this. Anyway, so the thing is that I wanted to add in all of these different features and stuff, and you can see cows, you can see crying, and you can see all sorts of different things. You can have confetti blowing. I wanted to have all these options because I think they're fun, and for me, part of my goal is that I want my content to be very interactive. So when I'm streaming, when I'm posting stuff on Twitch, when I'm streaming on Twitch, or making content, I want there to be all these options available. And I don't know if you saw this, but down at the bottom here, there's this section here. And these are actually commands that anybody in chat can post. I'm not saying that no other tool can do this or no other tool has this capability, but I haven't seen one that does it the way that I want to do it. So like if I go into here, I just did a stream recently, I can actually post in chat video.playconfetti, and there we go. And now we got confetti blowing on the screen, and I can also do poop. I won't do poop again. I like it. I don't know. I feel like everybody else is gonna hate that. Right, let's just do hearts. There we go. So anything that shows up in this little command console down here can actually be run on the stream, which I think is great. So anytime that music plays, anytime that a sound effect plays, okay, I'll play a fart sound effect. That's fine, right? So So yeah, it's a way to create more interactivity with viewers, and my goal is really that I want people to feel like they are a part of the stream rather than apart from the stream. And so a lot of that to me is giving way too much power to people. And so how does this apply in other contexts? So there are certain cases where I have wanted to use other people's tooling for my needs. As an example, recently at work, we had a save system that we ended up looking at, and we just kept running into problems. We've run into problems for years with the save system and with the processes because it wouldn't give us good error messages. It would sometimes take days to find a very simple bug because there were not good error messages telling us here's what's going wrong. And so I ended up creating a custom save system, which still needs a lot of polish, but I built that out, and now we have good error messages. Now we can see, oh, hey, we've got some recursion going on or something like that. We can actually get those pieces of information that would block us for days beforehand without clear information. And so the big thing about all of this, I guess, just really goes down to if you are a person who, like me, likes to do whatever they can, or who you like trying a bunch of different things, doing a bunch of different things. The big question is, what are your goals? What's the best way to accomplish them? And also, now that I've got a bit of income, I'm like, I can pay other people to do things, like paying for the rebrand or paying for the logo animations. Like, that's great. That makes me really happy because it's supporting other creatives. And like, I've been in a place where I was looking for work and looking for projects and needed stuff. So I'm like, I get like, it's nice to have extra stuff. And even if they're doing fine, it's like, it's nice to have extra. It's nice to have money. Money is nice. But yeah, so when you have extra, like, there are a lot of different things that I could spend my money on. I could have gotten a Switch a while ago, but instead I'm like, I want to pay for a rebrand and I want to pay for this and that. And what for a lot of other people could be spent on a lot more fun stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'll do this instead. I'll pay for training. I'll pay for if you have any income that you're like, yeah, buying 3 video games every month or something like that. It's like, well, you could save up, and even if it was something very small, you could end up using that for some assets for a project. And that's kind of been my thought process more so, as I'm like, hey, I can spend money on things other than entertainment. Even though I work in entertainment, I want people to spend money on my entertainment. But yeah, I guess those are some of my thoughts. The big thing is just that I want to create great content. I want to learn how to create better content. I want to learn how to make more interactive content. And so for me, the question becomes, what is the best way to accomplish my goals? And if that is bring someone else on board, if that is pay someone else to do it, awesome. If it's, hey, I can do it and I know I'm going to hit what I want and it's going to let me do things really quickly because I'm the only one. Like, I don't have to send back and forth with the tools for someone else, which on the one hand can slow things down, but on the other hand, if I'm just like, I want to make a change now, that's really quick. That's really great. So yeah, biggest advice for a lot of programmers is doing everything themselves. I think that could be a general creative problem. I'm not really sure. And I know that most people will not group programmers and creative, but in game dev, it seems like there's a lot more of a crossover. All of the programmers that I've met also, at least in game development, also have another artistic outlet, whether that is like, that could be painting minifigures, that could be music, that could be writing. It just seems like that's very common, and I don't know if that's true for every programmer, if that's a general programmer thing, or if that's programmers in game development. But yeah, do you have any project that you think that you do you have any project that you redid, or any package that you built for your own specific needs that is now a mainstay for you, that you're like, I'm so glad that I built that myself? And also, have you ever had times where you built something that perhaps there was already an alternative to, and you think that was kind of a mistake? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. I want to end at the end of the song because that's going to feel so nice to end.